Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the June 12th Zoning Board of Appeal hearing. My name is Corrine Doherty, and I am filling in as chairwoman for John Bowner, who is unable to be here tonight. I would now like to introduce the board members. To my far right is Jeff Sauer. To my right is Ken Scholes, who's the clerk. To my left is Ken Javinian, and to my far left is Katie Hislop. For anyone who is new to these proceedings, we begin by reading the case. We ask that the applicant come to the microphone, do their presentation, and then it will come to the board to ask questions. From there, we will field questions from the audience, have deliberations, and then make a ruling on the case. For anyone who would like an agenda, they're located at the door, and we request that you silence all electronic devices. So with that, I am going to ask the clerk to read the first case.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our first case is 28 Delaware Avenue, zoned R3. Request for a special permit in accordance with Section 9.2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow a 750-square-foot extended family living area on a pre-existing non-conforming undersized lot. Request for a special permit in accordance with Table 1 in Section 9.1.b of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow 4 garage bays on the property where a maximum is 3. Request is made by William Fallon, docket 23-5019.
Is the applicant here, or a representative of the applicant? Brian, I can't see, is the person on the screen, is that Mr. Fallon? The person to the right?
That's Brian.
Okay, no, I can't see that far to see if that's him.
That's Brian.
Okay. Do you want to speak on behalf of the applicant? So should we continue, put it to the bottom of the list?
Yeah,
We can come back to it.
yeah, maybe they'd show up, so you can
Okay.
continue.
All right, so we'll move on to the second case.
The second case is 466 Newberry Street, Industrial 1 zoning. Request for finding in accordance with Section 3.11.b and Section 7, Table 3, Table of Dimension Requirements to allow encroachment of a pre-existing non-conforming building's rear property line through the addition of an attached cold storage room where 25 feet is required and 10 feet 6 inches is proposed. Request made by Costas Apostolopoulos, docket 23-5020.
Is the applicant here for this case?
Do we have a meeting tonight? Is there a meeting tonight? Okay. I guess we'll come back to that then, too, right?
I can double check.
I think
No,
they would have.
not at all. I find it
Planning
odd as
department,
well.
They would have told them.
Was your last meeting at Town Hall?
No.
No.
We're
No,
always-
meetings have
we're
been
always
here.
here now.
Forever.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
There's nobody in the waiting room.
All right.
Okay.
Nobody else is online other
On
than
to the
cable
next
access.
one.
Our next case is 153 Endicott Street, Zone Commercial 3. Request for a variance in accordance with Section 37.4.f to allow for 3 additional building signs where only 1 additional sign is allowed, and for a sign proposed to be placed on the roof, a location where signs are not allowed. Request made by Poignant Signs, Chris Ram, docket 23-5021.
Have a winner.
Yes.
Before that, I'd like to speak very briefly, Chair, if you don't mind.
Yes, please.
So how this was noticed in terms of that the sign being placed above the roof, this was a mistake on me. So that is, there was obviously legal notice given to all neighbors or abutters to abutters within 300 feet, according to public notice law at Massachusetts general law. However, anyway, it was because it was more stringent in terms of what was proposed in that legal advertisement than what you have. For that reason, significant enough notice was given out. But anyway, it was a mistake by me. You guys are not, and the applicant is not proposing to put any signs above the roof. Sorry for the mix-up.
No.
And that was it.
Thanks, Brian.
Please proceed.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for hearing us today. So, to try to draw a little bit bigger picture, we're going through a remodel at that property. I don't know if anyone has driven by recently. We're kind of right in the middle of the remodel right now. My name is Bill Gavian. I'm with Poynt Signs. Actually, the franchisee, Roy Serpa, is here if you have any questions for him on the project. But going into it, we proposed the total package, and then dealing in communication with the town and with zoning, came to find out that the property is allowed 2 signs up to 32 square feet. At that point, we decided to go with the ground sign that was proposed. It's a little bit difficult because you're not going to find these 2 in this package right now. But there is a ground sign out by the street, and then we did a very nice set of Duncan channel letters along the front. They built kind of a peaked front, so now there's no slope there. It's all kind of flattened off. And we're going to put a set of 24-inch Duncan channel letters, but they're face and halo lit with kind of just a wall wash effect around the outside of the letters. It's a very nice set of channel letters. Anyway, so those are the 2 that we went with. The other 3 were in the package, and we're trying to seek relief to see if we can be granted to have those additional signs. One of them is, I guess I should probably go through the package as it's listed. Let's see what we've got. So, really right now, I'll step in here, the one set of signs, we've got.
There's a pointer on the podium there.
Oh, hey, look at that. I don't think I've ever used a pointer before.
We're not messing around.
Yeah.
I got whipped with this. Sorry. So we have a ground sign coming here into this island, which will be installed probably in 2 days along with this front sign here. We're putting the set of Duncan channel letters in the front, so that's facing the main road. We have the side access into the back shopping plaza there. I believe it's a mall, if I remember correctly. I've never actually driven back there. And really on the sides, we have kind of a lower lying sign, which is just before the drive-through window. It's part of the new branding for Duncan, the next-gen image. It just really kind of brings the community. Danvers runs on Duncan. I'm sure you've seen Celtics run on Duncan. Everything runs on Duncan now. So, one of their remodel images with this new image is to have that sign bring into the community. They have them in the stores and outside the stores. They're a little bit different, but they read the same. And then the other ones, and I'm sorry, this is actually not accurately located. It should be here. The sides of the building, on that building, it's a unique building. It's a little bit odd in the area in the sense that it's very, very tall. It's technically, I think, a 2-story building. The whole area is single and 2-story buildings. But this has such a high ceiling, a high roof line. It's really more of a 3-story. So when you come off that highway, you can really see those dormers. And there has been signs from what I've been told through the town. I believe it was Brian Cassidy I was dealing with the first time. In those peaks, there's always been 2 Dunkin' signs up in those peaks. It's a couple Dunkin' Donuts, big 4x8 boxes that were up there. So when you come off the highway, you get just a straight-on image of that. When you're coming the other way down the road, same thing, because it just is so much higher than everything else. So it really does allow us to not only brand the building much better, but really kind of fill a lot of dead space that is just out there and wide open. Which again, now we have removed those signs for the remodel, so what was there, they are gone now. If anyone has noticed, it definitely looks a little bit different without them. But anyway, so that one would be there. Brian, can I ask you to go to the next page? Thank you. So this is really what it is. Instead of the box, now we're doing the individual channel letters and trying to get that drive-through message on there as well. That's really kind of a big part of the Dunkin' model and fast food in general. It's an impulsive buy, so you want to make sure that they're making a lot of those decisions immediately and decide to turn in. So trying to kind of get that message out there. They've got a drive-through. It's a Dunkin' location. That's kind of the idea of getting them in there and getting them elevated like they are. And then really that next one, the third sign we're trying to seek is down here again. The idea is to have that before the drive-through window, in the drive-through. Big part of the new image is enhancing the drive-through experience, obviously the digital components and the different things that are kind of updating everything with the brand. That sign is one of those to try to improve that guest experience going through the drive-through. And of course, these two, but both of them face that shopping plaza side, so it's going to really help promote that. And then again, this just kind of all the traffic in town going there is going to be able to see that as well. So I think that's probably all I have. That runs through the signs, and I guess why we're seeking relief for them. There is still the existing sign. There is a nail salon? No, not even hair salon. Thank you. And they have a sign here, and then one over the store here, which I think wraps around the front to the side.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeff, any questions?
No, I have no questions. I have plenty of comments.
Okay, thank you. Ken, any questions?
Thank you. So the ground sign that's there now on that curb cut area, that's going to be now DD?
No, well, there's a little directional sign there right now. We're putting in.
With the,
We're right next to it, really. We're putting in, it's considered a vertical monument. It's 18 feet tall. I believe there's one in town already, but it's part of it's Next Gen's, their new branding. It's their favorite ground sign, basically, what they try to get in. But it's just a thin vertical sign.
Oh, okay.
And it reads Dunkin' straight up and down. Just
Gotcha.
Dunkin' all the way down.
I
It's
think
just
that's all
very
I had.
fast with it. Yep,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Thank you, Ken. Ken?
What is the square footage of all the signs?
Thank you, good question. So, being that 32 is kind of we wanted to try to stay within that is the allowed on signage that is allowed. So the DD with the drive-through, those are just under 32 square feet. They are 31.76, and then the LROD, location runs on Duncan, the Danvers runs on Duncan, that's 12 square feet, 12.04 square feet.
All right, what's the square footage of the other one?
Oh, just under 32.
And-
It was 31.76.
Okay, I thought you had three
Oh, I'm
signs.
sorry, yeah, the one yes, the one that is approved and is gonna be on the front of the building,
Yeah.
that is also just under 32.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all I got.
Thank you, Ken. Katie?
So I just want to be clear, the sort of existing retail sign, that's for another business?
Correct.
Okay. And so the one that you're requesting above that is replacing one that you've taken down in order to do the remodel?
Correct.
And how does the size of the proposed sign compare to the one that was taken down?
It's actually a little bit smaller, because the one that was up there I never got up and actually measured it, but since they're really kind of the same signs, programs for 30 years, I'm just familiar with it. It's considered a 4x8, which is a little bit bigger, but we call it 4x8, so that's at least 32 square feet, and then underneath it, it had, I would say probably a 1x8 separate cabinet like this, that said drive-through.
Okay, that's all I had.
I just have one question. Are these, is the new signs, are they lit?
They
Or-
are, they're internally illuminated.
Okay,
And they're all channel letter design, so they're all individual letters, no more the brand will not allow box signs on the building anymore, which really has kind of helped class it up a little bit.
okay. And what are the hours of operation for this location?
Right now, we close at 8, typically, pre-COVID, it's 10 or more.
Okay, so, but when the store closes, do the lights go off, or are they illuminated 24/7?
No, the signs go off, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they should, the signs should be off. No, maybe not the ground sign, but the building signs.
Actually, could you go up to the mic so that we can hear your answers?
I'm not 100% sure if they go off, if they turn off.
Okay,
I can find out for sure.
okay.
They need to go off.
Yeah, they need to go off when the store's not, when you're not in operation. So if the last employee leaves at 8:30 when they shut the lights off, those lights need to be shut off as well. Okay, thank you. That's all I have for questions. Questions from the audience?
I want some trivia.
No trivia.
It was built as a pewter pot. That's what
I remember that.
Oh,
It was built as a what?
pewter pot.
I don't even know what a pewter pot is.
You started in Salem, it's just a breakfast restaurant.
Oh, cool, okay.
yes.
And the sign is on a steel frame across the roof. Big ones.
Yeah, well, actually, when you go back, Duncan had one up on the front
When
like
Anderson
that.
Street was developed, there was no sign regulations.
That makes sense, because there was a huge sign on the front of that building.
Any other comments or questions from the audience? Okay, we will go to deliberations. Back to Jeff.
Thank you, Corinne. I think this is another case of sign-mageddon, and it's too many signs, and I won't vote for it as proposed. It's my experience. My wife is a big Dunkin' Donut person. We sit in line at the Dunkin' Donuts on Route 1, and we see the same people all the time. You wouldn't need any advertising on this building, and you would still get the same number of people there that go there every day. So I think having the ground sign and the side signs and the front side and the Danvers runs on Doken is excessive. It doesn't need to have that many signs. So I'm a no.
Thank you, Jeff. Ken?
Would you take a condition that the signs do go off at night? Yes. I think this is minimal impact, especially in this area. I'm a yes for this.
Thank you, Ken. Ken?
I would vote for this too.
Katie?
I would vote for this as well, with the condition that the lights go off at the time the business closes.
And I would vote for this. I actually think the signage is less impactful to the area than the old signs that were there. But I also agree that the signs need to go off once the store closes for the evening. So if you take that as a condition, then I am a yes as well.
Easy enough. And honestly, now's the time, the electricians are there, they can add the timers to everything, and everything's
Good idea.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so,
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to issue the variance in accordance with Section 37.4F to allow for 3 additional signs where no additional signs are allowed. This condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant. Granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good and will not nullify or derogate from the intent and purpose of the zoning bylaw.
and should we include the,
Conditions.
Yes,
condition?
also, yeah, with the condition that the outside lights be turned off at close of business.
do I hear a motion? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against?
Nay.
It passes. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great night, everyone.
Thank you.
You
And
too.
I see that Mr. Fallon's here, and since you're the continued case, I don't know if you would like to come up and present now?
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Take care.
Sorry I'm late.
Do you want me to read that again, Brian? No? That's fine.
Mr. Fallon, why, I don't know if Brian can bring up the new drawings that you have?
Yep.
So that we can discuss the changes that you made from the last time you were here.
Okay.
Those aren't the new ones, those are the old ones.
I was looking for the connection on the second floor.
What's that?
I was looking for the connection on the second floor.
Okay, yeah.
Which kind of, so the issue was this common entry.
Yep.
This common entryway was not sufficient.
Correct, yep.
You're gonna have to give me just a second to find that second floor plans because it's not in this group of 6. So just give me a second. So that hasn't changed, correct?
It's a laundry room now. It's a common area with a laundry room that has a doorway from the existing house, second master bedroom, and the in-law unit now. So it's used as the common laundry now, not just a
Not just
breezeway,
a
really.
doorway.
And then here's that connection between the primary bedroom
Yep,
and the new bedroom for the EFLA. So that's a new change, correct?
correct, yep.
So, Mr. Fallon, why don't you describe first the changes that you made to have, like, the common space?
Okay, so we originally didn't have it as a laundry room. Now it's a laundry room, just to giving it as a designated room. It's a space that both units will actually utilize. And we got rid of one of the garage doors because we didn't like the four doors before. So now it's just 3 garage doors with a unit off, 3 garage doors with just a storage unit on the side with a window.
So when you're talking about the laundry room, I'm looking at the new plans. The laundry room and that common space is on the first floor, or is it on the second floor?
On the first floor.
Okay. So does that mean that you have 2 common spaces? Because now the master bedroom opens up into that common area as well, correct?
Nope, so this isn't the new plan. I don't know where the new plan is, but this area right here acts as the laundry room.
Okay,
So they would walk in and you're walking into, instead of a common entry, you're walking into the laundry room.
okay,
And this works as the laundry room instead of a common space.
okay.
And the second floor master and the existing unit, or the existing unit, is over here and walks downstairs to the laundry room. And then the in-law walks downstairs to the laundry room.
Okay,
Sorry, here we go. This will make more sense. Here we go.
There it is, yeah, that's it.
Oh, I see it. Okay.
Very good.
okay, okay, thank you. And could you describe the changes that you made to the exterior? First of all, removing the garage door and the bay.
Yep.
And changing
So there should
the
be a
look of
rendering-
the outside.
Rendering for it as well, yeah. So you see now it's just a storage area with a window in it. It's just a storage unit.
Okay. Okay, perfect. So both of the concerns have been addressed by these
Correct.
new plans?
Yep.
Okay, thank you. Jeff, any questions?
No, I would just like to thank the applicant for the modifications. I think it looks great now.
Thank you.
No questions from me.
Ken?
No questions.
Katie?
No questions.
I don't have any questions either. Any questions from the audience? Okay, back to deliberations. Jeff?
I will vote for this.
Ken?
Yeah, I like the changes, looks good now. Happy, I'm a yes.
Ken?
I'll vote for this.
Katie?
I would vote for this.
And I would also vote for this. I really, really like the new design.
Thank you.
And want to thank you for taking all of our concerns and changing the design.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam
So-
Chairman, I move to grant a special permit in accordance with Section 9.2 of the Danvers Zoning Bylaw to allow an extended family living area on a pre-existing non-conforming undersized lot that conforms to all conditions and requirements in Section 9.2.c and 9.2.d, and that the municipal water and sewer system shall not become overloaded by the proposed use. The public streets shall not become overloaded by the proposed use. The value of other land and buildings will not be depreciated by the proposed use. The specific site is an appropriate location for the use or structure. The use developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. There will not be undue nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians, and an adequate and appropriate facility will be provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed use, structure, and condition. The proposed use and structure will be in harmony with the general purpose of the bylaw.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? It
Good luck.
passes.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you guys very much.
It's okay.
No problem.
Happens.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Clerk, could you read the next applicant?
And the other guy's not here, right?
Oh, no.
Our next case is 211 Maple Street. This is zoned R2. Request to modify an existing variance, docket number 115, dated October 9th, 1951, to add a fourth unit to an existing barn on a lot with pre-existing non-conforming three-family house on site. Request is made by E. Peter and Elizabeth Swindell, docket number 23-5022.
Good evening. My name is Richard Maloney. I am representing Mr. Swindell. Do we have the not the proposed, but the first plan? That's it. Okay, good. Well, I'd like to say that me and Mr. Swindell are very good friends. I'm here as a friend tonight. He's been talking about doing something with the barn on the three-family property for some time. I said, hey, I'll give you a hand doing the application, and I'm talking all the technical jargon, and he got kind of lost, so I said, one thing led to another, so here I am tonight to help him out. So, I'm representing Beth and Pete Swindell. I'll give you a quick overview of the property anyway. This is 211, this is 217 Maple Street. Mr. Swindell, 217 is a single-family home that Mr. Swindell built in 1984. This property was acquired by the Swindells in 1952. His father, along with his uncle, started Swindell Brothers Carpentry. They're a couple of World War II vets that started Swindell Brothers Carpentry in the early 50s. Pete's dad bought this in 52, and the barn has been used by Swindell Brothers for 2 generations of carpenters, from 52 to about 1995. Pete and his cousin took over for their fathers in 1980, and then they disbanded in 95. The building, the residence, is a 3-family. In 1946, at the inception of zoning, it was a 2-family, and then the owner in 51, the previous owner from the Swindells, got a variance to add a 3rd unit, and that's still there today. So Pete acquired this from his mom. His dad passed away, and his mom sold this to Pete. 85, 1945. So, what we got is pre-existing 2-family, a 3rd unit by variance in 52. The barn and the house date to the mid to late 1800s. The property is on the preservation list. The barn is not a non-conforming structure as far as setback is concerned. The properties share a common driveway that's a non-conforming, that when he built his house, there was no requirement for the common shared driveway, not even a special permit. And I'm not sure that the multi and the single would actually qualify for the variance today, besides the special permit. So, the Swindells are ready to downsize and retire. Pete was self-employed most of his life, so this is his pension plan for 3-family. The existing house is about 2,500 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2-car garage. So, you know, he has to do something with the barn. It is on the preservation list. The front half, the original half, is really a nice structure. It needs a lot of lumber. So he came up with an idea that, you know, if you can convert this to a unit, it makes it viable financially, is, to fix the thing up. The back half is pretty sad. Are the pictures in the big and scan? You have color pictures?
We have pictures in the packet, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the front half is the original 1800 barn, and the back half has been added on over the years. It's pretty sad.
I'm almost there.
That's all right, you all have pictures as well. So the goal is to, if we have the pictures, the exterior elevation, the proposed elevation. So this is the original, this is from the Maple Street view. This is the right side, as you look at the building from Maple Street. This is not the original structure. This is not conforming in the back half. We'd like to tear this down and rebuild it with a bedroom from the second floor and then a garage underneath. This is the left side looking at it from Maple Street, so this is, again, the original structure stays. This goes out and then a bump out that will meet the setbacks. There'll be a bedroom with a garage under, this will be excavated out. And the driveway will come this way. We'll go back to the proposal like this.
That's the last image that I have.
Okay, I think the first slide was proposed, what was proposed to do with the structure.
This is just the images file.
The first slide you got up when we started was the proposed plot.
Different file.
Anyway, you guys have the proposed plot plan there. So he's cutting that structure back. It'll meet the 15-foot setbacks of the father's projection. Any floor plan? Do you have the floor plans?
Do you want me to cycle through? These are the floor plans.
Anyway, so the structure finished will be 1,300 square feet of living space. So there's two sections of the lower level. The original front half is a garage door. It's a real low ceiling. It's not a big area. That's what they propose as storage, lawnmower. And in the back will be a one-car garage underneath. So the first floor is just one big living area. Open concept, kitchen, dining, living, one big room. And it's about 500 square feet. And then you go up the stairs and there's two bedrooms, one above the kitchen living area and then one above the garage. And the total's about 1,300 square feet. So it's pretty modest. The building does have, it has electricity now, it has its own meter. There was water and sewer in the basement. It was used there at some point in the past, they used it as a cow barn, the shop, the office. The building was used as an orphanage or foster home back in the 30s. We have mutual friends, their mother lived there way back in the day. Orphanage or foster home back during the Depression. There were stories that people lived in the barn. We don't know about that, but it's been used for many different things. So that's the kind of the history, what it is, the shape of everything, and then we had some goals that we can get achieved with this project if it's granted. So Pete and Beth are both lifelong Danvers residents. Pete's been a town meeting member for over 30 years. They would love to stay in this community. They would like to downsize on their terms. Like I said, the three family is Pete's pension plan, and kind of gets him close to his pension plan and kind of oversee it. The structure is on the preservation list, and this kind of makes that financially viable if they make it to their downsized living house. So it makes it financially viable to get that barn back to what it should be. We all know the state is in a housing crisis. The new administration has a goal of creating over 400,000 housing units in 20 years. It was 435, that's a good number. They're proposing, they're slowly eroding local zoning, like the MBTA zoning, and there's probably more coming down the pipe, just for free housing. So, local communities can have less control over their zoning. I see that happening in the future to get this housing done. So we do create a unit, we free up a unit, and then the other thing is he's required to make a payment to the Affordable Housing Trust. So he would have to come up with $35,000.
That's right,
Housing trust.
because he goes to 4, right.
What's that?
Because he goes to 4 units.
Correct.
Right, right,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
and I think that's,
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome.
Now to the board for questions. Jeff?
Yeah, I have a bunch of questions. Would we consider this a dwelling conversion?
Well, what we're asking.
Converting the barn into a unit?
No, what we're seeking is two things. So we have 3 non-conforming issues on the property: the structure, the common shared driveway, and the underlying two-family predate zoning. The third unit was added by variance. So we're asking to modify the 51 variance and the finding on the 310.
So, Jeff, we couldn't allow this through a dwelling conversion because the additional unit was allowed via variance. So the only way, period, to change anything related to that is to modify the variance.
So the variance predates zoning.
The two-family predate zoning.
The two-family predates zoning.
You got a variance in 51 for a third unit.
Okay, so the variance basically legalizes the two-family and increases it to 3.
No, well, I'll put this scenario by you. So Pete could go to the building department, get a demo permit, and with a letter saying, I'm abandoning that 1951 variance,
Okay.
and eliminate the third unit. What's he left with? A non-conforming two-family dwelling. Correct?
Sure, I mean, it's non-conforming two-family, it's not conforming three-family,
Well, no,
but
the
it
third
was
unit.
converted to three-family legally,
One unit.
1 unit.
By variance, right. So the underlying two-family is non-conforming. What I'm saying, it's only one unit. They didn't get a variance to build a three-family, they got a variance to add a unit.
Sure, but that's okay.
Right.
I mean,
So
and
I'm
the
saying-
the two-family underlying it predates zoning, so it's pre-existing non-conforming.
So there's 2 issues. I disagree with the planning department that, yeah, we're gonna modify the 51 variance, but you're also seeking a finding under 3.10B1
Because,
because of the non-conformities on the property. The underlying two-family, common shared driveway.
oh, this is the whole thing where non-conforming things are findings, not variances anymore, or whatever.
That's correct, it's fine.
Okay.
So there's two components to it.
Okay, and the pre-existing shared driveway, okay, I don't have an issue with that. And then the existing rear setback is 11 feet,
Currently, yes.
and so you're gonna tear that 2-car garage dilapidated thing down, and you're going to take back a certain amount of distance, and you're gonna leave it at 15.
It'd be 15 to the farthest projection. It'll meet the current zoning.
Okay, so, I'm sorry, it would meet the current zoning?
Which is 15 feet in res.
Yeah.
Okay.
There,
But a multifamily requires 25, doesn't it?
Well, they're not allowed in res 2, so you're thinking R1 has all the different kind of multifamily provisions. So res 2, there are.
Oh, yes, 15 and 15, okay.
There's no multifamily dimensions in res 2, so you're just gonna go with the underlying zone.
Okay, so you're improving the rear setback with this,
So the rear setback.
well, not just improving, they're eliminating.
Eliminating
they're
a
eliminating a
nonconformity.
nonconformity.
okay. But you still got plenty of other nonconformities anyway, so,
You're right. The common
okay.
shared
But you're
driveway-
moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
All right, and if we're modifying a variance don't we need a, based on soil condition, topography, blah, 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 a reason, a hardship for the variance?
Well, the variance was already granted, so you're just gonna use the hardships that were there in 1951. Because nothing's changed since 51.
All right, I'll have to ponder that a little bit. I don't think I have any more questions at the moment.
Thank you, Jeff.
Is
Ken?
that, I'm sorry, is that 1951 variance in our package?
Yeah.
It is.
Okay, let me take a
Yes,
quick
it
look.
is.
Ken?
Oh, aye. So, all right, so the setbacks are going from 11 to 15 and 11.9 to 15.9, correct?
Correct.
The variance is in place, we just want to modify it.
Correct.
Explain why we need the finding to me again, please.
Once again, only one unit is here by variance.
Correct.
You read that 1951 variance,
Yeah, variance
this guy bought it in 46 as a two-family.
into a three-family dwelling, right.
So we got a variance, he actually put the unit in without approval, got caught. So, yeah, he went hat in hand to the zoning board in 51, got the variance for the third unit.
Okay.
So again, you have the underlying two-family that predates zoning. You have, when Pete built this house, you have a common shared driveway that needs a special permit today, and you would actually, I don't think you meet the criteria, you would be seeking a special permit with a variance to get the common shared driveway under this condition. So that's not, that driveway is not, the common shared driveway is not conforming. You understand that part?
Yeah.
It's just another non-conformity on the property. So it's,
So what do we need the finding for?
you should cover all the bases under the zoning relief.
No, remember when we get non-conforming properties,
When-
pre-existing
when-
non-conforming
when
properties, we
when
don't
he
get
got
variances, we get
when he
findings.
got the third unit in here, there was no, there was nothing over here. There was no, you know what I mean, there was no issue about the common shared driveway or anything like that, but that's in the zoning bylaw now, so we need to,
Cover it.
Why couldn't you just make that a common driveway easement and eliminate all that nonconformity? You're just making it a multi-use easement driveway.
because at some point, I wanna say mid-nineties, they put in the special permit for the common shared driveway. It's almost 3 pages long in the zoning bylaw, you know, so it's a thing, it's a non-conformity on this both these properties have a non-conformity with the access. So that's something you know, you'd have to be aware of, and you should include that in your decision.
Okay.
Because he will be required to go through site plan.
Site plan, right, I know that.
So, and they're the special permit granted for the common shared driveway, so you have to acknowledge it in this decision.
Okay. Gotcha. I'm good. Thank you.
Ken?
So, what is this total square footage of the whole lot?
32,055 square feet.
Okay. All right, that's all I get.
Katie?
So, so the barn, so they're planning to move into the barn and then rent out or otherwise?
Well,
Um,
the goal, and we'll talk to the family, they have 3 adult children, and their son down in New Jersey is a scientist, would like to move back home. That's their goal.
Mhm.
We are the only family, so there's never a guarantee.
And so I think it's in here, but what would be the, in the barn, would it be, how many bedrooms?
2 bedrooms.
Okay.
Yeah, total, the living space is 1,300 square feet.
Okay.
It's modest.
Okay, that's all I have for now. Thank you.
The floor plans are in.
Katie, are you
Yeah,
done?
I'm all set. Thanks,
Okay,
Corinne.
thank you. I have some questions. So who exactly are the tenants that are in the 3-family right now? Are they family members or are they renters? If you, okay. And right now, is the garage space, is that actually being used? Are those offices closed? Do you use it for anything right now? Maybe you could come up to answer.
Well, the two bays, as you were looking at it from the right side, there's 3 garage doors, 2 rear ones, one we park in on occasion. The other one is pretty much just storage. The other one is just there, it's open to the first floor of the barn. And the barn has a wooden floor, so you can't park anything in there. It was just put there, there was probably big hinged doors or a sliding door at one time, and they were just changed before my time, so.
So when you,
Yeah.
when you remodel the space, how many cars will you be able to park in the garage after the renovations?
You wanna take this down, and this is, I think it's like, off the top of my head, it's like 20 to 25 feet. By bringing it in, we're bringing it down to approximately 18 feet. And this barn itself, believe it or not, as big as it looks, it's only 20 by 30, so it's 600 square feet on the first floor. Second floor has pitched roof, so it's considered a half story. So it doesn't have as much square footage on the second floor as the first floor. And so if we add on,
It's gonna be a one-car garage under this new addition.
what I want to do is, because tenants park up here, I want to take this down, flip it around, put the door on the opposite side. That's pretty much the only change, and then build a room over it.
Okay,
That would just be, you would walk up the stairs, there'll be a door, go to the right to one bedroom, door to the left, gonna try and squeeze a bathroom in one.
okay. So right now it's a 3-family, so you need 6 parking spaces. So if you converted it to 4, it would mean that you would need 8. And you certainly have plenty of land area, but where do you propose that these, the tenants in these units are going to park?
Tenants will park right where they park right now. And this new structure, because I'm gonna put the door on the other side, will park over there. So,
What happens is, right now, there's 3 garage doors up there, only 2 you can use. The overhead door here goes into the wood shop. He's gonna tear that back off, make it conforming. And the garage space for this unit is on this side.
Okay,
He'll create one inside, one outside parking for this. Then, if you look up, this is all the parking for the current 3-family, it's all paved up here, it's all existing.
okay. Okay,
it's old, 1861 is the main house. The barn, a little bit newer than that, but it's still pretty old, well over 100.
okay,
Those 2 bays in the back, I couldn't tell you.
okay. Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to go out to the audience to see if anyone has any questions.
I have no questions, I just have comments. I'm about a directly.
Could you go up to the microphone and please give us your name and your address?
Richard Bolduc, 222 Maple Street, directly across the street, facing their property. I think it would be a huge improvement to the area. Not that it's a dump, I mean, it's just, he's gonna make it into his living space for himself and his wife, and I, being a butter, I don't see any problem with parking over there, and neighbors, I mean, they're great neighbors. I mean,
Okay,
living across the street from them for 28 years, and couldn't ask for better neighbors. Keep them in the neighborhood.
okay,
It's worth it.
thank you. Mr. Bradstreet? Okay.
I have another question.
Ken?
Oh, if it's okay, Madam
Yes,
Chair.
yes.
Thank you. So you're gonna, how do you preserve it enough to make it, like you keep the integrity of the existing structure based on its age? I mean, is there a criteria? I'm sure there is. Can I ask
Yes.
Mr. Planning Board? Brian, is there, what is, how much of the building do they have to keep? The bones, or what do they have to keep the structural integrity of an old building that's an antique or?
So the Preservation Commission only really gets activated when there's a full demolition. Rich actually might know a little bit more about the process than me, but I do know it's on the preservation list, like they said. But what that really only gets activated again when there's either the threat or a real demolition permit comes in. So as far as I know, there's not, like, preservation really wouldn't be involved, correct?
No, right, I always say, it's not an anti-addition bylaw. So, again, he's tearing off the newer structure, it's clearly,
Go on.
yeah, I'm not sure when it was built, but, the front structure, you're really remodeling from the inside. You know what I mean? If you do any kind of restoration work, you're saving the framing, you're saving the roof, everything's intact, you're just gonna redo from the inside out, essentially. And, the foundation's in pretty good shape, that has had work done to it in the past. So everything new is you're getting rid of that newer structure. So it's an addition, essentially doing an addition on a property that's on the preservation list, so. Again, the preservation bylaw is not an anti-addition bylaw. They want to preserve
Madam
these
Chair,
old
could I ask
structures.
another
and
question?
that's- So you're
Yeah.
remodeling it to make sure it lasts.
I actually serve on the Preservation Commission too, and these types of applications come in front of us all the time. And usually it's up to us to say or to decide that the new addition has no historical significance, and that then we allow them to do the demolition. So it is an extra step that they're probably going to have to do, but it would go through the building department to make that determination. But I've seen less work proposed to be done, and it still has to come in front of us.
Well,
So,
I think what's happened over the years is the Preservation Committee morphed into what they think they're the Historic District Commission, so I totally disagree with that. The bylaw is very clear, it's the permanent removal of the building. And, I've seen in my time, the Preservation Committee negotiating what another building's gonna look like. And that, that's not your charge. Your charge is to, are you gonna tear the building down, put the delay on it or not? So I'm kind of on a soapbox here because,
well, I'm not saying that there will be any type of demolition delay. I'm just saying, and I agree with you, but part of the issue is that our bylaw is, the way it's written, you can interpret it to mean a lot of different things, and it could really mean if you hammer a nail in, you have to come in front of us. And until the bylaw is amended to state what you think it should say, and I agree with you, but that's not what it says now. So I'm not saying that there'll be a delay, but I'm saying you'll probably have to come in front of preservation for them to say, this isn't an issue, feel free to demolish it.
yeah, I mean, that's, if you were around when the bylaw was written, the problem was that people were tearing down houses to build another one. And some of those old, they were old historic houses, but there was nothing in place. So that's where the preservation, so if you know where it came from and why it's there, but I believe the Preservation Committee has morphed itself into the Historic District Commission. They're two very different things. And again, it's a demo delay bylaw. Are you gonna tear the structure down? Put the delay on it or don't put the delay on it. But, and now they're doing architectural, saying, well, we think this will look good, and that's not in the charge of that bylaw. So that's, again, that's me ranting from my experience.
And I hear you, in a lot of ways I agree with you.
Maybe some people are watching this and they'll pay attention.
I'm just telling you, from my experience, even though it will be approved, because as you said, it's a new addition, it has no historical significance, it's probably gonna be an extra step that you have to do.
Can I just show you this up close? These pictures, you've got them all in your packages, but you can see that these two bays here clearly were added on at one time. And it's really, this is matched just with tongue groove, ancient tongue groove, nailed onto 2x4s that are probably 4 feet apart, maybe 3 feet apart, horizontal blocking in between. And that's all I want to take down. And I'm happy to have you come look and stop by any time and show you through the place. It's just an old barn. It's really nothing fancy. It's kind of plain. Bees are eating it. You know, I'm just getting to a point with it where I have to do something.
Okay.
If I don't model it into something, you know how expensive everything is. That old barn needs everything from the house needs, roof, siding, windows. It's all so much money. It's, you know, I said to him when he told me I needed to pay $35,000, I said, you're giving me pause. But, yeah, you're welcome to come by and take a look. I don't believe that has any historical significance. The barn itself, maybe, maybe not, but I want to save the barn. So that's my aim in doing this, is trying to save the barn.
Okay, thank you.
Madam Chair, could I ask a few more questions?
Yes.
So I have just a couple more questions. So what are the plans for the barn besides keep restoring it? I mean, it's going to just remain a big open space?
No, it's gonna be his residence, they're downsizing.
No, we're going to make it into,
Well, I thought the addition you're adding was just the apartment.
it's going to be a garage with a room over
Okay,
that attaches to the hopefully elevations work out and attaches to the second floor. So you'll walk up
okay,
there's a set of stairs inside that is ancient and they're all broken.
All right.
You have to put in new stairs. You walk up the stairs and there'll be a door on the right where you go into a bedroom, over single-car garage that'll be put in, and then to the left will be
okay. So Rich, I have one more question. Do 4 units need to be sprinkled?
Only if they were attached.
Only if they're all together? Okay. All right, no more questions, thank you.
Any other questions from the board?
I actually have another question. So I'm a little confused because in the letter that was included in the packet, and I think it was stated in your presentation too, one of the sort of benefits of this is to create a unit, a housing unit, when there's a shortage of housing units. And also, you say it would make it financially viable to restore the barn. So I guess my interpretation of that would be you're taking rental income or whatever to restore the barn. So I guess I'm a little confused just about the underlying argument. If one of your children is coming up to live in the house while you restore the barn, where's the money coming?
The state doesn't care what kind of housing unit you're building. You know what I mean?
I understand that. I think the way that you presented it to us is that, you know, it's part of your argument. Hey, we're creating a housing unit, but not really. It's just.
Let me talk. I'm just saying that that's a byproduct of, you know, it's just one more thing that's happening. Is the state's looking for 433,000 units in 20 years. I'm just saying that that's a byproduct of saving the barn, they're downsizing, it creates a unit, frees up a unit. That's all, it's just a byproduct. It's on the list of things that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I guess just
Yeah, no,
from my perspective, numbers 1 and 2 on this letter kind of,
Yeah, the state doesn't care, you know, again, they want at least 25% of the housing units affordable. And then again, another byproduct is that he's gotta pay $35,000 if he gets what he's asking for into the affordable housing trust. So again, it's a byproduct of this process.
yeah, all right. I mean, I guess what I'm trying to say is that while that may be true, that it's contributing to the number of housing units that the state is trying to create, if these, especially numbers 1 and 2, were to urge us to allow this because of those two things, you've kind of just argued your way out of that. But I don't think that affects the overall plan here. I just wanted to point that out.
Yep.
I'm done.
Well, I was gonna say, maybe he meant affordable, meaning, like I just said, everything is expensive, the roofing, the siding, the windows. I don't think if I can do that, if you don't allow me to do this or something in this general area, I don't know how much money I'm gonna spend on a bond that has nothing in it but 2 cars. So it makes it affordable to fix the barn if it's gonna be lived in, but if it's gonna stay as a barn.
Oh, I see what you mean. So you're saying you have the resources to do it, but is it worth it to you to do it if it's just going to be a garage?
We can go to the bank, borrow the money, and rehab the barn into living space. That makes it worth doing.
I understand.
It
Okay.
doesn't make it worth doing if I'm gonna just store my own viewing.
I understand. I read this or understood that point to suggest that you were going to lease the property, the building that you're currently living in, take that rental income to fund the renovation of the barn.
Well, yeah, I guess it's all sort of.
Yeah, I mean, it
That's
really,
That's family dependent.
yeah.
Any other questions from the board? I'll go back out and ask if anyone in the audience has any questions.
I can't believe Mr. Bradstreet has nothing to say.
No.
He's taking it all in.
Okay, on to deliberations. Jeff?
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I'm finding this one kind of hard because when we grant a variance, we need a hardship. And when I read this variance from 1951, they don't have a hardship in this variance. So I'm struggling a little bit with this. And their decision said, the Board of Appeals is of the opinion that this third apartment will not be detrimental nor injurious to the neighborhood. That doesn't really sound like a hardship to me, but seeing as how we're just modifying a variance and considering what's being proposed, they have plenty of land, they have plenty of parking. They are reducing a nonconformity from 11 feet and then now making it a conforming rear setback. So I guess I'm in favor of this.
Ken?
Yeah, I would much rather modify a variance than grant a new variance, so I'm fine with that. You know about the $35,000 you have to pay, unfortunately, but this goes to site plan too, right?
Correct.
Right? So I'm a yes.
Sorry, one last thing. It may require a stormwater permit, but we can talk about that as well. But it may require another additional permit that's administrative, not with a board or committee. It's just administrative review.
Thank you. Ken?
Yeah, so it was mentioned that there was an orphanage there before, so people had been living there.
I think that in the 20s, the guy took in foster children.
Yeah.
I think that's how it evolved into a multifamily from a single family back in the day.
In that barn area.
No, not the
Oh,
whole property.
in the whole okay.
The barn had cows in it.
Okay, but there was, so I'm not asking questions, basically restating what you've stated. So there's a water sewer hookup, electric hookup you mentioned, so it seemed like someone was probably living there back in the day or could have been. So it's almost like it was a residential, like, barn. I mean, I don't know what you would call it. So anyways, you're gonna meet the rear setback and preserve the barn, and the $35K goes to the Affordable House Trust Fund. So I would approve this. I think it's not any more detrimental to the neighborhood as what's, there and stuff, so. So I would approve, yeah.
Katie?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's plenty of space, and it doesn't seem to be more detrimental at all. The neighbors seem to be in favor of it, so I would approve this.
Okay, on to me. I agree with Jeff. I'm having a hard time as far as the hardship. And when you read the minutes from the last meeting, it doesn't really address that at all. But putting that aside, I'm kind of concerned about us voting since there are so many, seems like, issues as far as the driveway and what we need to vote on, and also as far as, you know, what preservation is going to determine. I don't know if it would be better for us to continue it to the next hearing, and in the meantime, to just have the building inspector look at this, tell us whether it needs to go to preservation. If yes, mark it up for a hearing there, and then maybe even get some input from the planning department as far as that driveway. Because if we grant them the variance and we don't include the other things that Mr. Maloney is looking for, it's either gonna come back here or we're gonna kinda have a mess. So what do you think?
Sure. So I was not aware of any type of other special permit for related to Section 30 for common driveways. It wasn't me specifically.
Well, I'm not asking for, I'm just
Yeah.
saying that that's a with all due respect, Madam Chair, he's really not doing anything. And Brian was talking maybe a stormwater permit. That's if there's any increase in impervious surface. And
Oh, no, I'm talking about, you said that we need to include language with regard to the
Special
common
permit.
driveway and
Yeah.
some of the other issues
no,
that,
all I was identifying nonconformities on the property. That's all I was saying.
so.
So yeah,
All right.
I was confused. I
I
thought you were
was confused too. I thought you were amending what you had put in front of us,
no,
and you were looking for other,
We're not seeking any other relief. All I'm saying, all I'm saying is modifying the variance.
okay,
And I'm also just saying, I'm kind of modeling myself after Nancy McCann. She will say a finding as necessary. She always asks that of the board, if there's any questions.
That's what my question was.
Right.
Why
So
is there a finding on the application?
It says, again, the planning board, the planning department reviews the zoning stuff. So I disagree with them, but if you just want to modify the variance, but I just thought it would be prudent, again, because we have the common shared driveway, it's existing, we're not modifying that at all, it's staying right where it is. I'm just saying, you cite it in the decision, and you cite the section, if I may.
As Nancy says, to the extent that we need
It's common,
finding.
It's common for McCann and McCann to cite that on a lot of decisions. The board has done that numerous times.
okay.
So number one is you're modifying the 51 variance, and then I just said, include the finding provision.
Okay, I'm going back out to the planning director again to see what you think that we need in order to grant this.
I didn't think that a finding was required. It certainly wasn't me who required that. We take in applications and they can apply for it, and we can see whether it's necessary or not. I can say here I didn't think it was necessary, but there's like he said, there's certainly nothing wrong with issuing a finding if it's true.
Okay.
But I didn't require that finding. I don't necessarily think it's required, but I agree that it would not be wrong for you to grant if you were to grant that finding. That would not cause problems.
Okay.
Put it that way.
Okay, and it was part of their application, so we don't have to worry about any issues with expanding it now that we're up here, correct?
No, because it's technically not really a decision, even though there is a vote on it. I mean,
Okay.
a finding is a finding.
Okay.
It's not a special permit or a variance decision.
Okay. Okay. All right, I will vote for this. And I guess we are on to reading
Motion.
a motion.
Well, Madam Chair, I make a motion to modify the existing variance docket number 115 dated October 9th, 1951, to add a fourth unit to an existing barn on a lot with a pre-existing non-conforming three-family house on site. This condition does not affect other properties or structures in the same zoning district. A literal enforcement of the zoning bylaw would involve substantial hardship to the applicant. Granting this variance will not create a substantial detriment to the public good and will not nullify or derogate from the intent or purpose of the zoning bylaw.
I will second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? It passes.
You want to read the finding?
Do we want to read the finding?
Let-
Yep,
let's
just move
read
forward with it, it's fine.
Just to cover ourselves.
Yeah,
Okay. I make a motion, we grant the finding under section 3.10.b, section 1. The municipal water sewer shall not become overloaded by the proposed use. The public streets shall not be overloaded by the proposed use. The value of other land and buildings will not be depreciated by the proposed use. The specific site in an appropriate location for the use of structures. The use developed will not adversely affect the neighborhood. There will not be an undue nuisance or serious hazard to vehicles or pedestrians, and adequate and appropriate facilities will be provided to ensure the proper operation of the proposed use, structure, and condition. The proposed use or structure will be in harmony with the general purpose of this bylaw.
I will second that as well.
all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Thank you very much.
And I want to add one thing. Can we add the condition to the variance? I know that it's required that you pay the 35,000, but that we include that as a condition, that before the certificate of occupancy is granted, that it's conditioned upon receiving that payment.
Sure.
Yeah, yes, I mean, you can do that, just to be clear, like you said, and to make it clear to the audience and everyone else, that it is in the bylaw under the inclusionary housing provision. So it's like referencing other existing laws that exist that made no obvious. So you're referencing other laws. So no, you don't have to do it. Again, it doesn't hurt, but my official opinion is no, you don't have to do it.
Okay, but we will include it, and you will be required before the certificate of occupancy is issued to make sure that your check is in.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good luck, Pete.
Are we done?
And
So
I will
the,
call that last case one more time to see if
It's
someone's
yeah,
here. Can you
466 Newbury. So I can double check to see, but I certainly got no calls or emails today. But it's possible, like within the past 2 hours, maybe.
Okay,
So give me just a sec.
466 Newbury Street.
Madam Chair, I propose that we postpone 466 till our next meeting.
yes, yes,
I mean, either way, they're not here now, so there's no doubt about that.
okay,
I'll second that.
okay. All in favor of a continuance?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
They don't show up next time.
I got nothing here anyway from them. So
Okay.
Yeah.
Good night, Danvers.
Good night.
Should we make a motion to adjourn?
Yes, I make a motion, before, Mr. Director, do we have any minutes for approval?
you know what? There was supposed to be one set. There was supposed to be one set this week, but it didn't happen. So therefore, we'll hopefully have 2 sets by our next meeting.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thank you.
A motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Good night, Danvers.
Good night, Danvers.
Thank you, guys.
Good to see you, Rich. I know, right?